don't watch Tyler Perry movies. And,
now can you tell me why? I want to know why you don't watch Tyler Perry. I want to hear your opinion on Tyler Perry.
So listen, this is Mega of Mike's Unleashed, and I'm just saying this is why I don't watch Tyler Perry movies. I think Tyler Perry movies are all very stereotypical when it comes to Black people. He enhances the sort of the negative aspect of Blacks. I do see him with some shows. I hear about it. I wasn't a fan of the Madea character. I didn't see what all the hoopla and everything, all that the character was about, which was too funny, and it didn't click to me. But when I've seen some of her, not just her, but when I see Tyler Perry shows, they're just very stereotypical, and I'm just like, I'm.
Tyler Perry hurting Black people.
Tyler Perry's about to buy BT. You don't think that's like, I'm buying it back from them selling it to
all he go do is put them Tyler Perry movies on there that paints the Black man in.
E.T. Black Entertainment Television. The worst network I have ever come across. The most low down. The most dirty. The one who exploits Black people the most besides Tyler Perry. Shout out to Tyler Perry for exploiting Black people.
It is possible that there isn't anything funnier than a guy in a dress. And if that's the case, then it might also be said that there's nothing funnier than a Black guy in a dress.
For years, the whispers floated through barbershops and family cookouts like smoke. People were saying it behind closed doors. Tyler Perry was a problem. His movies were messy, his work environment rumored to be toxic, and his whole approach full of questions nobody wanted to ask out loud. Black Twitter ranted, academics dropped think pieces, yet none of it dented his billion-dollar empire. Hollywood's most powerful Black mogul looked untouchable, until everything shifted. Two legends, not bloggers, not Twitter warriors, but Denzel Washington and Samuel L. Jackson, drew a hard line. No subtweets, no essays, just pure silence. Their refusal to work with Perry. When men of that stature say no, it's not about paychecks or calendar conflicts. It signals something way darker. And here's where people miss the real story. This isn't gossip. This is a collision between artistic integrity and cold-blooded money, a war inside Black cinema itself.
There's a saying, when the devil ignores you, then you know you're doing something wrong. Wait, I'm not done now. The devil goes, oh no, leave him alone. Hey, he's my favorite. Don't bother him.
Yeah.
Conversely, when the devil comes at you, maybe it's because you're trying to do something right.
Tyler Perry didn't stumble into success. He engineered it with a formula that's been controversial from day one, and no one called it out louder than Spike Lee, the man who never bites his tongue about Black representation. Spike didn't sugarcoat it. When he called Perry's work coonery and buffoonery, that was like an artistic excommunication.
Stuff that's on today is coonery and buffoonery. And I know it's making a lot of money, breaking records, but we could do better. That's just my opinion. I mean, I'm a huge basketball fan, and when I watch the games on TNT, I see these two ads for these two shows, and I'm scratching my head. We got a Black president. Are we going back to Mantan Moreland? And
in the Black community, words like that are nuclear. Yet Perry's career just kept climbing. More movies, more money, bigger studios, fatter checks from Hollywood. Why didn't the criticism stick? Why didn't it slow him down? That's where the next voice comes in, and this one cuts deep. A regular Black woman, not a celebrity or an insider, just a person who's tired of seeing herself and her community portrayed in ways that feel twisted.
Tyler Perry hates Black women, and I'm not saying allegedly because the proof is in the pudding. It is becoming more evident that Tyler only sees Black women as hardworking, struggling rape victims that, of course, one day are going to be rescued by a blue-collared Black man. After watching the trailer of his latest film, Straw, starring Taraji P. Henson, I'm a little offended. And honestly, I'm still recovering from mea culpa. He has managed to make billions of dollars off the backs of black female pain, and I'm sick of it. The media is a huge outlet for the insight of others. I partially blame the media for people's derogatory perspectives about black women worldwide. I'm not talking about the Beyoncés and Oprahs and Kerry Washingtons of the world. I'm talking about normal, everyday black women. It is dangerous to continue to depict us in such a lowbrow manner. Looking at you too, Issa Rae, one of them days. Really? Where's our Legally Blonde? Where's our Pretty Woman? Well, maybe not Pretty Woman, but you know what I mean. Even in movies where we should be happy and preppy, like Bring It On, of course we have to be the mean black bully cheerleaders. Do you know what type of message that's sending to everyone else? As a black woman, I am tired of being showcased as a bottom-of-the-barrel human being.
Did you hear the pain in her voice? She said Tyler Perry despises black women. And whether you agree or not, that's not film critique, that's personal heartbreak. And then came the shocker. Cat Williams on Club Shay Shay, basically breaking the internet. His words about Tyler Perry didn't just stay on the dress-wearing thing. He went further. He started hinting about bigger forces, even whispering about the Illuminati. Hold up. Did Cat just connect Perry to the Illuminati? Whether you believe that or not, Cat's real point is about power and control.
The biggest choice for others. I'm saying at the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him. So now we had Big Mama's house 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I've never seen Medea in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses. So now I'm saying, why are we picking on poor little Kevin Hart? Because it was his turn next.
Okay.
Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them.
That unseen system in Hollywood deciding who rises and who fades, and the compromises some people make to get ahead. Which brings us to Dave Chappelle, the man who refused to play along. People think this is just about a dress. It's not. Dave walked away from $50 million rather than put one on. Let that sink in. $50 million left on the table out of principle.
Conspiracy theorists to a degree. Like when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. There's certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, all these brothers gotta wear a dress. That's happened to me. I'm doing a movie with Martin.
Yeah.
The movie's going good. So I walk in the trailer. I'm like, man, this must be the wrong trailer because there's a dress in here. They come in. It's the writer comes in. I think he's the writer. He's like, Dave, listen, you got this hilarious scene where Martin's sneaking out of jail. So he disguises you as a... and he put this dress on and, what? This prostitute. Nah, I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That should have been in the discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats have done it. So, well, if all the greats have done it, it's kind of hacky, right? You're right. So why don't we just not do it? Because I don't feel comfortable wearing a dress. Oh, come on, Dave. Listen, we got it all set up. We're supposed to shoot. Every minute you waste costs this much money. You know, the pressure comes in. He said, I'm not wearing no dress, man. I'm funnier than a dress. Just give me something funny to say. I don't need to wear no dress to be funny. What am I, Milton Berle? You know, we're going like this. And then finally he's like, and he leaves. And then like the director comes, Dave, it really would be great if you wear the dress. What is wrong? What is this, Brokeback Mountain in here? So then, like, wear the dress. I don't want to wear the dress. I want to wear this dress. You know what I mean? This is, oh gosh, it's so difficult. They leave. Now the producers comes, come on, David, would be so great. I mean, and then I started thinking about it. All the comics that I've seen, man, you know, strong brothers, why they be putting us in these dresses? But the minute it was clear, I was adamant, I'm not wearing a dress, I'm not wearing the dress. All right, fine, think of something else. That comes back 10 minutes later, the whole new scene. Damn, how did you write the scene so fast?
Meanwhile, Tyler Perry built an empire putting black men in dresses, and he's now a billionaire. Dave and Kat are basically describing the same machine, a system that rewards some behavior and crushes others. Success isn't always about talent or hustle. Sometimes it's about what you're willing to do, or in Dave's case, what you're not willing to do. So ask yourself, why did Denzel Washington and Samuel L. Jackson flat out refuse to work with Tyler Perry? When you connect the dots, Spike Lee's accusations, Kat's revelations, Dave's stand, and that woman's pain, you start to see this isn't about taste in movies anymore. This is about the soul of black cinema itself, and whether success is worth giving up your integrity. But it goes even deeper, because this isn't just about contracts or egos. There's a spiritual side to it too. Denzel Washington isn't just another actor, he's Hollywood royalty, a preacher's son who's never been shy about faith, good versus evil, right versus wrong. When he takes a stand, it's not random, it's principle. Now watch this. Denzel talking about spiritual warfare. He's basically saying if you're comfortable in Hollywood, if no one's coming for you, if everything feels easy, that's a red flag. But when the devil comes after you, that's when you're doing something right. Think about that.
The devil ignores you, then you know you're doing something wrong. Wait a minute, I'm not done now. You know, the devil goes, oh no, leave him alone. Hey, he's my favorite. Don't bother him.
Yeah.
Conversely, when the devil comes at you, maybe it's because you're trying to do something.
Dave Chappelle walked away from millions and got called crazy. Cat Williams spoke truth and got blacklisted. Spike Lee critiqued the system and got marginalized. Meanwhile, Tyler Perry keeps getting rewarded. According to Denzel's logic, who's really on the right side? And then it got personal. It's one thing to talk principles. It's another when somebody disrespects you or your family. That's exactly what happened to Denzel. He was supposed to play a part opposite a white woman, and they tried to electrocute him, but it didn't work. Denzel never named names, but the timing and the context made it pretty clear who he meant. And remember, we're not talking about a rookie here. This is a two-time Oscar winner with 40 years in the game.
Supposed to be a white woman, and they tried to electrocute him, but it didn't.
If a man at his level is drawing a line like that, you better believe something serious went down, something way beyond creative differences. For Denzel Washington to call a role offer disrespectful, that's not small talk. That's a thunderclap in Hollywood. There's an unwritten code in this town. A-list actors almost never turn down roles from mega successful directors unless something feels seriously off. And Tyler Perry isn't some rookie director hustling in the shadows. This man's movies pull in millions on opening weekends. His TV shows get renewed like clockwork. He's a billionaire brand name. So why would Denzel, a man who's collaborated with Spike Lee, Tony Scott, Ridley Scott, and every heavyweight in between, find Perry's approach so objectionable he won't even entertain it? That's not just creative nitpicking. That's a red flag flashing in neon. Here's a theory people have been whispering.
People who actually own the entertainment industry, they not gonna allow Tyler Perry to make movies about black women winning in life. Cause they don't, cause the higher ups, the government, the world really don't like black women. And they wouldn't dare want black women to get inspired, or that makes so much sense, girl. You just made me think of.
And honestly, it starts making sense the more you think about it. What if Tyler Perry isn't the mastermind at all? What if he's just another piece on the board, being used by people with real power to push certain narratives about black communities? Look at his rise. Tyler Perry went from homeless to billionaire almost overnight. In Hollywood, that kind of instant success doesn't just happen organically. Denzel's been in the trenches for 4 decades. He knows the difference between raw, organic talent and a system-backed project built to move an agenda. When a man like that draws a moral line, it's not creative differences, it's spiritual discernment. So when Denzel, a 2-time Oscar winner who's worked with literally everyone, calls Perry's methods disrespectful, it signals something much deeper. And when you start listening to the people who've actually been on Perry's sets, you begin to understand why Denzel's radar was buzzing. Because sometimes the devil really is hiding in the details. And here's where things turn from theory to raw testimony. It's one thing to talk about artistic disagreements or spiritual principles. It's another to hear firsthand what it's like to work inside Tyler Perry's empire. Let me introduce you to someone who didn't just hear stories. He lived them. This is Brandon J., a man who actually worked on Tyler Perry Productions. What he's about to share may sound unbelievable, but remember, this isn't gossip. This is coming from someone who was actually there. In any normal workplace, what he describes would be called hostile. But in Tyler Perry's world, apparently that's just another Tuesday. And the psychological toll on actors and crew? Let Brandon tell you himself. His words hit different.
Was the most stressful and hardest thing that I've ever done in my entire life. I had no idea that Tyler Perry Studios' schedule was so drastic. If you're working on a regular network show, they take a whole week to film an episode. Tyler Perry Studios, they film an episode in one day. The character was Jeffrey, a fat high school teenager who was very intellectual, who was getting bullied at school. I take 2 to 3 days to learn the entire script. On the day of filming, first thing we do is a table read. I know all of my lines. I'm ready to go. So the director, who is Alfonso Ribeiro Carlton in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, he starts to block us, telling the actors where to go, where to stand. Mr. Perry comes in, everything changes. So we literally run the entire episode for him, and he hates it. Does that mean I have to learn a whole new script? Yes, that's what it means. Mr. Perry, on the spot, starts rewriting the entire script, and he's feeding me the lines to say, and the director is kind of standing on the side like, you better do it, because if not, they will fire you. Here is where the shoe hit the fan. So in the middle of Mr. Perry changing up the scenes, he says, I want Jeffrey to be gay, and he has a crush on his bully. That's not what I auditioned for.
What really shakes me is that Brandon is speaking out now, years later, because he wants people to know the truth. But how many others went through the same thing and are still silent out of fear?
That I wanted to impress the most was Mr. Perry. I always looked up to him, and he was just sitting on the side looking at me. He was just looking at me, like waiting for me to do something. I felt like he was about to fire me. Everybody's expecting me to pull something out. They don't even let me finish the third take. They're like, cut, we need to reset. So at this time, I just kind of black out, and I get so angry and frustrated in the moment that when they call action on the fourth take, I lose it. I'm screaming, I'm yelling, I'm crying. Not because I was acting, but I was feeling those emotions because of how overwhelmed I was.
How many are still protecting Perry's image because they're terrified of being blacklisted? This is the part of the story people don't see. We've been focused on artistic critiques, spiritual alarms, and toxic workplaces. But there's also a hidden conversation happening quietly in the shadows, a whisper that's been growing louder every year. And then we get to another layer of allegations, the kind people in Hollywood whisper about but rarely dare to confront head-on. That part hits different, doesn't it? Because what this points to is a clear pattern. Years ago, when Christian Keyes tried to call out shady behavior in the industry, he got shut down. Nobody had his back. Nobody believed him. But now that lawsuits and legal documents are on the table, suddenly people act shocked. That's how the system protects itself. Isolate the victims, discredit their stories, and make sure the truth doesn't see daylight until it's way too late. But no matter how hard they try, truth has a way of forcing itself out.
Weird how whenever he came out, people was talking about him, people was disrespecting him. Tyler Perry was doing everything in his power to have him on mute. Now a white man is coming out. Now it's more important. Oh my gosh, Tyler Perry him. What about Christian? Nobody's talking about Christian, are they? I genuinely find it weird how black people ignore the fact that people who are rich, black people who are rich, they get rich off of the backs of us, and we continue to support their behavior. They have money to quiet people, and we continue to support their behavior. And then years and decades later, here comes the Diddy case. I don't want to hear about it because y'all have seen the things that has happened to black people, but y'all only care when it's a non-black.
When you see the toxic workplaces, the silenced voices, and the way the machine shields its stars.
Before it started, he was already accused of doing something he shouldn't have been doing. There were rumors floating around that Tyler Perry was pressuring people to watch Netflix with him forcibly. If you don't know what that means, look in the comments. Now, this is important because rumors are how these big cases get started in the first place. If you think about Diddy, rumors for years that Diddy was doing Diddy things. Jay-Z, before his lawsuit, rumors. Jay-Z doing this, that, and the third. Bill Cosby, they were trying to start lawsuits against him for decades, but his image was too clean. If they just jump out and say Bill Cosby did this, it's just so out of nowhere. People be like, no, Bill Cosby would never do that. And your lawsuit's gonna kind of fall.
You realize Denzel wasn't just declining a role. He was refusing to play along with something darker. That kind of moral courage is rare in Hollywood, and it's exactly why his stand means so much. Now buckle up, because this next part is serious. We're talking ongoing legal cases, with testimonies that will shake everything we've covered wide open. Allegations that aren't just rumors.
Tyler Perry Studios are now being accused by one of their former actors, Braxton Wells, of covering up his NSA by one of their top executives. Braxton Wells is a former actor from the series Ruthless, was also featured in The Oval. Sound familiar? As you know, it was just last month that Derek Dixon sued Tyler Perry for $260 million. Well, apparently, Braxton Wells settled with Tyler Perry Studios back in October of 2024, not that long ago. He accused Tyler Perry's senior vice president of him and NSAing him. He also alleged that Mark Swinton drugged him allegedly. Mark is on the left. He's worked with Tyler Perry for multiple years, probably like 15 plus years on scripted television projects and movies. So Braxton Wells on his social media shared various videos, screenshots, and even his settlement agreement where he settled with Tyler Perry Studios, Tyler Perry, and Mark in this settlement agreement, which he also signed a non-disclosure agreement. In the settlement, he received $500,000. However, $201,000 went to his legal team. However, he's claiming that he felt like he was misrepresented by his legal team. He says that Derek Dixon's attorney, he had reached out to him before the whole Derek Dixon of it all, and he refused to take his case. However, wants him to be involved in Derek's case. It should be noted that Braxton is a former Army vet, and he says there were certain things because he's a vet he should have been afforded when it comes to his rights. He also filed a police report in regards to this. He had posted, even before he posted here, he had posted before he made the settlement with his claims. He believes the attorney that represented him were in cahoots with Tyler Perry and Tyler Perry Studios. Braxton also believes, even though he signed the settlement agreement and there's a non-disclosure within the settlement agreement, he believes that it's voided because he signed that under duress. He's believing that his legal team misrepresented him. He believes that they were working with Tyler Perry's legal team against him. But here's the thing. Although people settle for a variety of different reasons, within the settlement, it does say that they do not claim Tyler Perry Studios, Mark, or Tyler Perry, they do not claim any responsibility or being guilty of what he's accusing them of. However, like I said, people settle for different reasons. I just don't understand why you would settle when your senior VP is being accused of R-ing someone. According to Braxton, he alleges that Tyler Perry and Tyler Perry Studios are covering up for a predator.
But backed by paperwork, filings, and people who finally had enough.
Person was with me for years. He was claiming, that he had multiple young black men on the payroll, and they just had to show up when he requested them to be there. And clearly that's why it felt to him that it was okay to say these things. And I want to have these discussions. I want to be transparent with y'all about that. I've done my best to forgive this person, but it happens. It happens. It's not just women that have to deal with it, but it's also men sometimes. And it'll be men tempting men. And that's why a lot of my posts over the last few years have been about taking the scenic route, taking a long way around, because if that means that you can carry your...
Think about it. The whispers have been swirling for years about Tyler Perry's behavior behind closed doors. But whispers don't hold up in court. Legal filings do. When employees start saying things like being pressured into Netflix and chill situations with their boss, that's not entertainment. That's exploitation in the workplace, and according to multiple sources, this has been happening for years.
I was like, well, I gotta protect me because I'm saying no, and I don't want this person, as powerful as they are, to try to get in the way of my work. So I started recording. So I have them offering me money to take my clothes off. I have recordings when I wasn't working with them or for them. I have recordings of them confessing that, the other guys that they have on the payroll, all of the above. And the difference is, the wonderful thing about confidentiality agreements and non-disclosure agreements is that they can't prevent you from turning all of those things over to the police, because there's a crime. Attempt is a felony. And Tams, you literally just asked, why do we as Black people have to deal with that? But sometimes it's our own people. Sometimes it's our own heroes. Sometimes it's the very people we deify. And we look up like, oh, they're doing so much. No.
But rumors stay rumors until someone is brave enough to bring receipts. That's where actor Derek Dixon stepped in, saying he couldn't stay quiet any longer.
And a man who's suing Tyler Perry for $260 million. Now he's suing Tyler Perry for something called quid pro quo. Listen closely. Quid pro quo basically means if you do something for me, I do something for you. But see, a lot of times it's not that simple, because there's an unspoken flip side. If you don't do this something for me, who knows what's gonna happen to you? Now let's get a little deeper into the story. Now this is all alleged, so pretend I'm saying alleged in front of anything. Okay, so Derek Dixon said, look, he working at a party, right, as event staff. Tyler Perry's at that party. He said, oh, who that? He goes up to Derek Dixon and says, hey, you wanna be in some movies and stuff? Derek Dixon said, oh man, this is my big break. Tyler Perry must see something in me. Now, thing is, to the public, Tyler Perry is known as a really nice guy. So Derek Dixon is just automatically assuming that. So Tyler starts texting him like, hey bro, like you good? Like what's going on? Derek said, what's going on with me, man? I just be chilling. Tyler Perry said, chilling in your new car. Look outside. Derek looks outside. Derek got a new car, courtesy of Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry said, matter of fact, you trying to act, right? Derek said, yeah. Tyler Perry said, come on my new show. Derek said, man, this dude is locked in. And suddenly, Tyler Perry start texting a little weird. Sending a bunch of texts, calling all the time. Derek like, damn, slow down, broski. And Tyler start coming on a little strong, start getting a little bit inappropriate. Derek said, okay, let me just ignore this. It's all gonna go away. Tyler said, hey, come to the crib. Derek said, what? Tyler said, what? You work as event staff, right? Derek said, yeah. Tyler said, yeah, come to the crib. As event staff, bro. Come as event staff. So Derek comes to the crib. Everybody drinking, everybody having a good time. Derek drinking. Everybody leaves. Derek about to leave. Tyler says, no, you've been drinking. Derek says, yeah, that's true. Tyler says, you could just stay at my guest room. You good. Derek goes into the guest room. He don't got no pajamas, so he wears his underclothes, goes to sleep. Somebody climbs in the bed next to him. Hello, it's Tyler Perry. And you ain't heard me say it started to get wicked yet. We just getting started. Tyler Perry started grabbing on bro. Derek gets up. He says, yo, chill out, man. I don't really do that. Tyler says, oh, my fault. Derek said, all right, bro. Tyler said, all right, bro, I'm gonna catch you. Tyler leaves. Tyler then texts Derek. This is the next day. Tyler says, look, bro, I got a new show for you. Now, here's where the stakes get raised. Right now, Derek has got a small part in one of Tyler's smaller shows. After this incident happens, Tyler says, look, I got a bigger show for you in a bigger show. Derek says, all right, I'll do it. So Derek Dixon gets a part on Tyler Perry's show called The Oval. Whole time, Tyler Perry's still texting him, saying, see, if my friends do stuff for me, I do stuff for them. Quid pro quo, remember that. Now let's look at the flip side of quid pro quo. At the end of the season, Derek Dixon's character, who, side note, is a professional Netflix watcher who would do anything for money, that's his character gets...
Suddenly, this isn't about gossip. It's about lawsuits, cover-ups, and an industry system designed to protect billion-dollar assets. Because if studios are helping to bury stories and silence victims, you're no longer talking about one man's misconduct. You're talking about institutional protection. That's where things cross into the territory of systematic mistreatment. And then Christian Key's voice breaks through again. Not only did he speak up, he collected proof, evidence, recordings, documentation. That flips the narrative from he said into a battle over hard evidence. According to Christian, what's at stake here isn't just one incident. It's a whole pattern of alleged abuse across multiple victims under the same payroll. Sound familiar? Victims speak, they get ignored, silenced, even blacklisted, until the stories pile so high they can't be ignored anymore. And that's exactly what we're seeing now, with Derek Dixon's massive $260 million lawsuit over the Oval. The accusations? Quid pro quo, career growth in exchange for favors. And when he refused, his character mysteriously vanished from the show. That's the textbook misuse of power that people like Denzel Washington have been refusing to stand next to for decades. Of course, Tyler Perry's lawyers call all of this fabricated, scams for money. They say it's nothing but opportunists chasing a billionaire's pockets. But here's the problem. When multiple people tell the same kind of story, when there's a consistent pattern, and when there's alleged documentation behind it, it becomes harder to brush off as just a money grab. That's where Denzel's spiritual radar comes back into play. He's been in Hollywood for 40 years. He knows the difference between someone who's tough to work with and someone who could be dangerous. When a man built on integrity and faith says no thanks, maybe the rest of us should pay attention. Because these lawsuits, these testimonies, these allegations, they line up with exactly what Denzel and Samuel L. Jackson have been warning us about in silence, through their choices. This isn't just about Tyler Perry. It's about an entire industry that hides misconduct as long as the cash keeps rolling in. So here's the question. Will justice finally come crashing down, or will the system twist itself again to shield another billion-dollar brand? And if legends like Denzel and Sam have been quietly protecting their integrity all along, who should we really be standing behind in Hollywood? If you found this breakdown eye-opening, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next. And I'll see you on the next one.